Hello, everyone. It's Alex Jones here. Oh, we're live now. There we go. Alex Jones here in Auxerre, as we've learned how to pronounce it over this trip. Can I just get a quick show in the comments? Can you guys hear me all right? So when I'd last did this one over in Austria, my headphones are rubbish and they didn't really show good audio at all. And I've invested in some new wired ones now. But I can get a sign that people can actually hear on this. That'd be really good. Yeah, that's what I like to do. Jake Smith, stop saying you can't hear me. I know you can. Cool. Should we start going through a few questions? Well, let's start off and set the scene. We're here at the Stade l'Abbé des Champs in Auxerre. This is Ipswich's last pre-season game ahead of the big kickoff next week, which is really weird. It comes around really, really quickly, especially when you're in the EFL and things start quite soon. So Town have had a few games already, of course. They had that behind closed doors one against Peterborough. That one then led into the trip to Linz, which was the 4-1 win there. Then they had the West Ham friendly. Then I think there were a couple of games that got played in that kind of afternoon. I think they were both defeats, but then a win off Aberdeen, followed by the midweek game at Colchester against Charlton, a 2-1 win. So this is kind of the last step on that journey. And probably the hardest test of that journey as well. Hope you can hear me over this all right. There you go. We've got the goalkeepers coming up now for Auxerre. We've had a fun Maroon 5 CD probably played on loop at the moment. But yeah, that's setting the scene. In a minute, I'll pan round and show you guys what the situation is, what the setup is here. Let's go through some questions there. Alex Steele asked, will it be Clark on the left as the team sheet shows? I think he's better on the left than I think Jaden looks unreal there. My understanding is that it will follow the team sheet and that it will be Jack Clark on the left and Jaden Philogene on the right. Obviously, there have been games that we've seen, at least the one out in Austria, where it was Jack Clark out on the right. Both players are better on the left, and I think they're going to be competing for that place. Obviously, Murray Hutchinson not in the squad today. I'm not 100% sure what his situation is. Neither is Leif Davis. I believe that Davis might be a knock or illness concern, so Connor Townsend starting instead. That kind of answered this question here from HCH9990. Yeah, so that's my understanding at the moment with those two, with Davis and with Amari. So Amari, I'm not too sure. There are reports of this renewed interest from Brentford and potentially readying a bid. There have been some reports on that. I haven't heard any further on that one. But Leif Davis, as far as I'm aware, is just a fitness or illness thing, not one that's been able to 100% verify at this point. That's how I see it. Hayden Hackney. Let's talk a bit about Hayden Hackney then. Go on. Again, not something that I've heard from my side, that's been reported now from the Middlesbrough end that he's turned down the opportunity to come to Ipswich. There was a deal agreed earlier this week. We understand that was in the region of kind of an initial 15 million with some add-ons to take it up. Conflicting reports. Usually, kind of the numbers you hear end up being somewhere down the middle. So we think it's in the region of 15 that was agreed with some add-ons on top of that. But he won't be coming by the looks of it from the reports, and he is on the bench for Middlesbrough today. So it looks like, as things stand, no Hayden Hackney in an Ipswich shirt. Might be someone else coming by the sounds of it. I'm sure there'll be a few questions about that one coming up. Where is Rossi? I think there's a typo in that. Heel King Rossi. Ross is currently stressing at the moment because the away end here in Auxerre, I'll show you. So the Ipswich fans are up over there in the background, and they've got the top tier. Now Ross, as hopefully subscribers will know, go subscribe, by the way, because we're running our best deal of 2025. We'll probably do a bit more on that in a minute. We do game day. It's one of our free bits of content, which you don't need to subscribe to. He's a little bit stressed with the fact that to get to talk to the fans, it's up a tier, and he's going to be pitch side. So he's a little bit stressed running around trying to figure that one out. Angela. Hello, Angela. Good evening, all. How do you think it will go today? Yeah. Throw in some predictions, guys. I'd like to hear what you guys think of this one. I like the team that's been put out. It's probably, aside from one or two players in there, the team that we'll see play Birmingham next Friday. It's the strongest team, really. Auxerre are a little bit further behind in their preparations, so they've got another friendly after this. They're going to play Levante, who's been promoted up to La Liga. That's next week, and then they kick off their Ligue 1 campaign after that. So that's where they are with their preparation. So Ipswich, in theory, should be a little bit ahead. But it is going to be their hardest game. Let's be honest, it's kind of built up to this quite nicely. So that's where I see it in terms of the matchup. So I think Ipswich are going to be in a good position to go and win this. I'm told that with Leaf, by the way, just to come back on that one, his very minor knock, and that is why he's not involved today. So Leaf Davis, very minor knock, not risk ahead of the big kickoff next week. No update on Amari Hutchinson. Jens Kiyusta, let's talk a bit about Jens then, and we'll come for a little bit and talk a bit about the game. So the Jens Kiyusta links have kind of rumbled on a little bit in the background, and people that I'd spoken to kind of indicated they hadn't heard a lot about it, but it's come to life, and I think these are reports that mainly come out from Italy. But it's no surprise now and no shock that Ipswich are pushing to bring him back. I think that probably ties in with Hayden Hackney's seeming rejection of Ipswich. I don't think that there was ever going to be a world in which Hayden Hackney and Jens Kiyusta were both going to play for Ipswich Town, both be summer signings. I think that this is now Ipswich probably looking at Jens as the alternative to Hackney. Hackney has a different profile, doesn't he? He's a little bit more kind of an attacking driver. He's obviously an England youth international, someone who's got a lot of potential for the future, someone I think will be worth 50, 60 million in a few years' time. Kiyusta probably has more of a guarantee in terms of what he's going to bring at a higher level as well, because Ipswich have had him in the Premier League. I saw the report from Fabrizio Romano has said there's a deal agreed between Ipswich and Napoli. With that one, I think that the Napoli president, Aurelio De Laurentiis, there we go, got there in the end, has been very keen to say that if Kiyusta goes out on loan again, it has to be with an obligation. There will be an obligation if Ipswich are promoted to the Premier League. So that's one to watch. There still seems to be a job on persuading Jens that coming back to Ipswich is the best thing for him. And then the players are out. Should we have a look? Here we go. I think my signal's gone a little bit patchy. I hope it'll hold out okay. Here we are. The players are out at the Stade Abbé Deschamps. Nathan Broadhead, of course, notably in the squad today. There was a £7.5 million kind of agreement between Wrexham. Right. £7.5 million agreement between Wrexham and Ipswich, but it's not one that's been signed off, and he's here today. So, look, Wrexham are really ambitious and are determined to land him, but whether they actually will, as Phil from TWCD photobomb me in the background. That's kind of where we are. So he's here until he's not, basically. That's kind of what his situation is. Let's go through and have a look at some of these. This Roscoe survived. Roscoe is surviving okay. He's a big boy. He's a grown man. He's all right. We went for a nice lunch earlier, which we'll show off on our behind-the-scenes video. Spoiler alert: there was wine and steak. It was really good, and you'll get to see a little bit of our kind of behind-the-scenes from today. That will go up to subscribers. Don't forget, 6 months is our best offer of 2025 for £29 for the year. That is running for a few more weeks still. It's the best time to sign up for everything that we do. Let's see. Watching you from inside the stadium. Hello, Ashley. I saw you munching chips outside the restaurant. That was the steak and chips with the wine. It was really good. Ashley, thank you for following. I can't see you over there, maybe waving or something like that. No, can't see anyone over there. But Ashley, thank you for following while we are here. Dino, prediction. Hello, Dino. Sorry for being really rubbish to replying to you recently. 2-0 to Ipswich. Yeah, I think a clean sheet would be really positive for Town. That's the one thing that we've not seen from this pre-season, isn't it? Because they conceded to Auxerre, they've conceded to Ligue, they've conceded to Aberdeen, they've conceded to Charlton. And maybe there's still kind of those defensive question marks a little bit. But from last season, given how many goals they conceded, if they can kind of solidify, especially with a partnership of Greaves and O'Shea at the back, that would be really, really good. How many players in total do you think we will target before the end of the window? A bit of surprise, the lack of activity going out. Also, I'm going to tie this one in with Luke's question as well. We need an Auxerre alternative. I think that 2 midfielders are needed, so let's have those one already. I think that starters play alongside Auxerre Matasiwa and ahead of Jack Taylor and Cameron Humphreys will be really, really important, and then get some cover as well. I like the idea of having some quite experienced cover. I've not really heard much in terms of reports and rumours, but someone of a, when I was having a look at the kind of names, like a Harrison Reed, someone that you know be reliable at the level, solid defensive midfielder that maybe wouldn't demand to start that much, be able to come in and just do the job when required. A Lewis Travis type, but maybe just that level or two up. What is the kit? Asks Hannah. It's the red kit today. We've had the red kit already once. I think it was the first game, wasn't it? The Linz game, they played in red, so they're back in red today. I'm not 100% sure what colour was they're playing. We've seen blue and white kits in the shop. At the moment, they've got blue training kits on with white shorts, so that probably rules out the blue there. How many keepers are out there this weekend, Alex? Asked Neil. I'm going to get the team sheet up. I will be socialing the team sheet in a bit, but the goalkeepers that we have out here at the moment, we see 3. Alex Palmer, Luke, Walton and Button. Those are the 3 goalkeepers out here. Obviously, the club are working to get Kieran Slicker out on loan. I don't think there's been any real movement on that one yet, but that will be a deal that they want to do to go get him some experience. And then as well, we'll have to see what happens with Aaron Muric. 4 goalkeepers with a lot to carry, and there have been reports of interest. There's a moose waving at me down there, a man in a moose costume. Can we stand to see him? You might be able to see. There he is. Man in the moose costume. God, I love France. Oh, go. Take off. Yeah, this is an interesting point from Phil here on YouTube. This point is missed out on Hackney. He's going to reject turning down if no Premier League club comes in for him. Yeah, there's been these kind of whispers, haven't there? Tottenham interest, Man United interest. Are they actually going to lead to anything? I'm not that sure. If it does, and he went to a club of that kind of ilk, would he then go and play regular minutes? I'm not really convinced, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, that's really the Hackney bit there. I don't think that there's going to be a way of kind of resurrecting that deal, which is a shame. I really love Hayden Hackney. I think he's a top player for the level. Obvious question marks about what he can do in the Premier League. I think he'd be able to handle that step up if Ipswich were promoted. Yeah, so there we are. We've done a good 13 minutes here so far. How long have we got till kick off? We've got about 35 minutes to go. We'll do another 10 or so here. I think the interesting point as well to touch upon will be the captaincy. So Dara O'Shea's got the captaincy. I mean, we can only really assume that he is going to get it. It makes the most sense. He had it when Sam Morsey wasn't in the team last season in the Premier League. So I think that looks quite set now, and he is captaining the team today. I would imagine there will probably be a formal announcement of that quite soon. And it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of do a vice captaincy announcement, if they're going to be something that kind of indicates what that leadership team is. Connor Chaplin is one, but then you look at maybe what his game time's going to be like. Any others that stands out? Yeah, I think that will be an interesting one. I would imagine we'll get a formal announcement of that one quite soon. Let me have some water, please. It's quite humid here, guys. I really hope you can hear all of that. Luke asks, thoughts on Ivan Azon? Another one that came out yesterday morning as I was travelling over to France. Really enjoyed having to get up at 3:45 a.m. to deal with that one. Not great fun. Yeah, Ivan Azon is probably kind of, I mean, obviously with being Spanish, there's similar traits to Mark Gui. Do we know how to pronounce that? He's gone to Sunderland anyway, so he won't be. Has that been officially announced? It's going to happen anyway. So he won't be coming to Ipswich, and it's just a case of seeing what the number 9 profile will be. They're definitely going to want to sign at least one, and it will need to be two if they move on. Ali Al-Hamidi has been linked to the move away. Yeah, what do I think of him? I really like the profile in a longer term deal. I think he's quite physical. He's someone who hasn't had like a really prolific goal scoring record, but perhaps similar to George Hurst, it's also about what he does off the ball and what he does holding up, his physicality, the way that he can turn into space, the way that he can run the channels, the way that he reads the game. I really like him. I quite like what I've seen from him from the little clips. I've seen kind of the odd match or two from when he was at Zaragoza. He was the jewel of their academy before making the move to Como. And Como are obviously in a position now where they want to spend really big money. They're talking to sign Alvaro Morata, for example. So it's a really competitive one there. If there's an option to buy or an obligation to buy there, I'd be quite happy with that one. Be an interesting one to see how he would do in the championship. Is Jack Clark on the left wing? For those of you who missed the start of this one, I believe Jack Clark is on the left wing. 2 goalies on the bench. Do you expect to see this tactic much this season? No, I do not. I think that the 3 goalies who are in the squad, Palmer, Walton, and Button, are going to be kind of the 3 main options for this, and then it will just be really. Well, my brain's gone there. Walton on the bench and Palmer starting, and Button mostly doing a supporting role for those 2. Out I see it. We badly need to get a striker, mate. Do worry about Hurst being injured. I think that for me, George Hurst as a striker is just excellent. One of the best options you can get at championship level. And it is just the injuries, isn't it? And it's a real shame. If he can get through this season with a clean bill of health, I think that he will get really strong numbers and also offer so much in the final third. So I really hope he does. But they do need two good options. I would be happy with Ali Al-Hamidi as a third, but they do need a good alternative. Will it be Ivan Azon? Will it be somebody else? We'll have to wait and see. Richard Kone feels a safer bet. He would be a much safer bet because of the English football thing. I think there'll be some people that would turn their nose up a little bit and kind of thinking, is it a similar Ali Al-Hamidi signing? It's a big step up to be going from a kind of a top-endish League One team to a side that has aspirations of winning the championship title. You need to have a strong return. You could have to be the leading striker, but he has all the physical traits. That would be really good if it was him, but there's not really been that many links with that. What is the temperature here? 21 degrees here at the moment. It's not scorching hot. It's not like Linz. It's just a bit muggy and a bit humid. Yeah. Have you said anything about Leith not being here? Leith has a minor knock, very minor knock, due back in for Birmingham, I would imagine, but he doesn't want to be. Well, he is going to be here. That's for all the Davis questions there. Minor knock for Leith Davis. David Connor asked, everyone writing Ali Al-Hamidi off who's had a decent pre-season. I'd keep him. Young, hungry, only getting sharper. Yeah, I don't think he's the player that I'd want to rely on as the backup to George Hurst, to be honest. I really like Ali, and I've kind of been quite open about that from ever since he made the move from Wimbledon. And it's kind of like when you buy stocks in a player early on, metaphorical stocks, of course, you kind of have highs, let's say the penalty against Millwall, and lows, so the penalty against Bristol Rovers, and sometimes it can kind of look like you've got some egg on your face when you really kind of bought into a player and it doesn't feel like it's working out. But I'm sticking with it. I really do think there's something there. As you say, he's still a young player. He's, again, I talk about physical profile a lot, but in a number 9, especially a Kieran McKenna number 9, it's important. And he has had a good pre-season. I would definitely kind of keep the options open going into the latter stages of the transfer window, but I would be really disappointed if he was sold, to be honest. Yeah, want to watch. Best result today, no injuries. 100% agree with that one. An injury-free run will be really, really good from this one. I mean, Town have been all right with the 3 front. Wes Burns is aiming to return in October. I think there's kind of an idea, maybe in his head. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Wes personally. I think he'd like to be back at Derby. I think he'd like to be back to play at Norwich City. So keep an eye out with him. But other than that, it's kind of quite a good bill of health, isn't it, when you look across the squad? Where's Burns? And then other than that, it's Leaf who's got that minor knock. We'll have to wait and see what Amari's situation is. But touch wood, it's not a wooden bench, is it? I don't know. But hopefully it will be okay. Which goalie would you start with against Birmingham City? Alex Palmer. Alex Palmer is number one, and I don't see that changing, to be perfectly honest. He's realistically the one that we're going to be looking at. Last time he was in this division and played a full season, he won the Golden Glove for West Brom. And with what we've seen from him in the Premier League, you can kind of see why. There's going to obviously have to be a little bit of a shift because West Brom are play out from the back, open, attacking, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, West Brom are not that. Ipswich are. West Brom are more of a direct, get it long, and Ipswich in the Championship are going to want to be confident on the ball. It's going to be a lot of time on the ball. We saw some of that in the Premier League, but it's going to have to ramp up another level in the Championship. Sure. Kevin Bailey. We've got 40 million from Mari. You could spend the chunk on a quality player. I think they're going to spend the chunk on a fair few quality players, to be honest. 2 or 3 at least would be really nice. I think the different question to go with that one, Kevin, would be what would be the Amari replacement if Amari was to go? Would be that kind of marquee signing to replace him? I think you kind of have to, especially then with Nathan Broadhead and question marks over his future. I don't think both would leave, to be honest. So yeah, I think that the one that would stand out to me would be his name's totally escaped me what's going on in the background, but the lad at West Brom. Tom Fellows in the end. Cam Humphreys, love it. Cam Humphreys set for a bigger role. It's looked good season so far. I think there's 2 possibilities for Cam Humphreys. I think either he's going to get a bigger role or he'll go out on loan. Reports of interest from Luton. I think that he would be better playing at Championship level. I think he's ready to play regularly at Championship level. But he either has to have a really important role within the squad or has to go out on loan. I'll put him touch on this one. Jack is Jason Knight, possible signing. He's been linked before, hasn't he? I don't think he fits the profile, to be perfectly honest, in terms of a McKenna midfielder in that kind of deeper role. Possible. Haven't had any links, but that's why I want. As Ashley Young travelled, I've literally seen him warming up just in front of me. He's on the bench today, so Ashley Young is here. Raksaki or Ben Doak? Oh, I love Ben Doak. He would be brilliant, and yeah, he's obviously someone that Town had targeted in January, but it didn't come off. I think he's too good for Championship level. Unfortunately, if he's going to make a move, it will be Premier League. Yeah, Raksaki is one who kind of hasn't really worked, has it? Like that Sheffield United loan didn't really work out for him. But I like him. Wonder what his role is going to be. There's quite a lot of competition in his area at Crystal Palace, where you look at who they've got there. They've got Ismail Assar and also Romain Esse. So competition there, and he needs to think about his future. He'd be a player I would like to have at Championship level in this team. A bit of a hiccup there. Where else can we go here? Yeah, Raksaki has Luke Penning mentioned on YouTube. And any Sheffield Wednesday players we could get for free? Yeah, don't think so. Don't think Barry Bannon's going to look up. There aren't that many that I'm that keen on. But worth mentioning. I hope everything goes well and gets better at Sheffield Wednesday, because their situation is pretty bleak, and no football club and no football fan base deserves to have to go through that one. I'm just waiting for some comments to update. So yeah, let's just have a little vibe for a minute. An interesting one to watch over here, actually. I can pan this around. Town are actually doing a set piece behind me. This is a free kick one that they're about to deliver into the box. Knocked in, cleared out. Sammy Smolletts has cleared that one out, all 5'8" of them. I can't talk, can I? They've been doing some corner routines and some drills. Yeah, that's interesting to see. They're always really big and important in the Championship. They are in the Premier League, and they couldn't really take advantage of that one. Oh, I've got a good question here. My team sheet. Don't even have a. Who should we look out for from Auxerre. I haven't actually got their team. Shall we see if I can find it on Twitter? I've been prepared for this. There is one in terms of a former Premier League player, and that's Gabe Osho. He's been out talking to Chio Bene before the match. They played together in Luton in the Premier League. He then made the move to Auxerre's been playing out in France, looking at their team. I'll read this one out. You'll see if there's any names you recognise. Leon, Diomande, Sierralta, Osho, Senea, Idanwa, Owusu, the captain, Mensa, Casimir, Sinioko, and Osman. Let's quickly run through a couple of them there. Sierralta used to play for Watford, Chilean international. Gabe Osho, I've just mentioned, used to play for Luton in the Premier League. Casimir, I think was a free agent signing over the summer, kind of a versatile wide man who can play 10 left and right. And Osman, a pacey winger who'd been, I think he was out at Feyenoord. He's a Brighton player, been out on loan. So, yeah. Kevin Bailey, yeah, this is a really good comment from him. Having enjoyed the Marcus Evans experience, every sympathy for Pal supporters. I mean, I don't want to kind of downplay the Marcus Evans era because it's a pretty bleak time at this club. It was obviously before I started covering Ipswich, but when you look at Auxerre, wow, long day. When you look at Sheffield Wednesday, it really is a case of wondering whether they're going to be able to start the season when they're not able to play players, where it's not just about relegation out of the Championship, it's about the existence of the club as a whole. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a lot of sympathy for them. Let's keep them some of these questions while we're going on in the background. We'll do maybe another 5 minutes or so. Food, thoughts on Smodics in the centre 10? Does it need to be a left footer? Left foot, right foot doesn't matter in that role for me. I know that naturally it kind of drifts a little bit to the side, the number 10 role. Sammy Smodics plays 10 for me next season, 100%. I asked him this one after the Linz game, and he said, I want to play number 10. And I said to the manager, I want to play number 10. I'm happy to come in and be versatile and play on the left when required. But I'm a number 10. I know that position, and I scored 27 goals in that league last time I was here. So he has to be that one. Did Ross have red wine? Looked like Ribena to me. You need to ask him. I had red wine, that's for sure. Whether Ross set it out, not for that sure. Casimir from Le Havre, yeah. I'd seen little bits of him when looking at some players, and I thought he was the one that probably stood out to me the most. I think he's kind of quite young as well. He's definitely a player that I'm intrigued to see. Osho as well, just because he's had that Premier League experience coming up against a strong but quite versatile and energetic centre back who's good on the ball. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he will handle it. What time are we now? We've got 20 minutes to go until kickoff. I hope you've enjoyed this. We've been trying to do a few more of these. And just to plug what we're doing, you can follow the game with us. That's subscribers only. We're doing live updates start to finish. We'll have post-match reaction. We'll have an exclusive interview, I believe, coming out from this weekend as well. Everything going into the big kickoff. And I know not all of you guys will be subscribed. I know some of you will be sick to death of me saying it, but this is the best chance to do it. If you're going to do it and be involved with us, follow all the content that we're doing, whether that be signings analysis, the Jensky Euster profile coming up, might not need to do another one of those. Whether that will be analysing Azon and what he's done in Italy and Spain, whether that will be other exclusives with transfers, with interviews, all sorts. Come and follow them all with us. This is the best time to do it. £6 for 6 months, £29 for the year. Would really appreciate you guys signing up and more than anything, just being part of this season with us, because this really should be an exciting season, shouldn't it? Let's do a couple more. How many transfers for Birmingham? I'm going to say 2. And that's with no kind of knowledge or kind of insight to go with it. I think they'll get 2 signings in before they play Birmingham next week. And I think they'll both be on the bench. Why not? Random hot take. We'll just go with that one. George Topper. Oh, no, that's one. So I'll come back to you in a minute, Luke. That one. Do you think Azon will come in as a starter? No, I do not. I think Coach Hurst will be the starting striker for next season, barring injuries. I think he's the one. He's the guy. Really big fan. Luke Penning again. Watched Ocean trial at ITFC in 2019. He's Reading. Yeah, it's bizarre. Then you come something sometimes come back and look at these players and realise I've seen them before, and it was pre-COVID or something like that, 2018 or 2019. Yeah. Can you go through the Ipswich Town again? Yes, I can. So in goal, we've got Alex Palmer. He's playing behind a back four of Ben Johnson on the right, Dara O'Shea, right centre back and captain, Jacob Rees on the left, and Connor Townsend at left back. Lee Davis missing out with a minor knock, should be back next week. Matasiwa and Taylor playing as the two midfielders. Philogene on the right, I believe, with this one. Sammy Smodix through the middle and Jack Clark on the left with George Hurst up front. Oh look, I've got some nice comments. Look at this, I've got some nice comments. Can I go through to build up my ego? Thank you, Toby. Good show. Thank you for following, Toby. I really appreciate it. Sharp haircut. Yeah, we've gone a little bit different this time. Usually when I have a haircut as well, we get rid of all this. And this time I've left some on. So thank you guys. Don't look at me, Callum. Thank you guys for that one. I've had a couple of comments about that. That's really nice. Thanks for the atmosphere. Back in Suffolk. Yeah, thank you for following. Really enjoyed doing these, and we're hoping to do a few more as well. Loving these pre-game streams. How many out there? Is that out as in like the fans? How many out in it? I don't know. Should we talk about the fans? I've got a little block at the top, which is the one that I panned to earlier. We'll pan back to this. Over there in that little corner, somewhere over there. Yeah, that's. I've kind of heard there might have been maybe like 100, maybe a few more than that sold. So really good numbers out here. It's a bit of a nightmare. We got my alarm yesterday was 3:45 a.m. We got the Eurostar at 8. We got into Paris at 11, and then we got into Auxerre about 2, 3 o'clock. And I think I basically just slept since we got in up until when I went to get breakfast with Ross this morning. So yeah, it's been a busy one. Loving the live stream. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. Thank you, Horse Follower. That's a brilliant name. Really like that you are enjoying these. Let's do a couple more and then we'll finish off. Your Younger Johnson are less fast, even more typical RVs. You think we'll see less of fluid? Yeah, a little bit like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't need to have that kind of defensive pattern to the right back role in a league where Ipswich should be stronger, to be perfectly honest, and you don't need to then go into the back three system as much. We did see that a little bit, didn't we, with the game against Linz when they played the second half of the back three. But yeah, I think it'll be more of a 4 across the season, even though we've kind of seen that kind of versatile system a little bit, especially in League One and also in the Premier League last year. Let's finish it. Go on. We'll answer that. How many transfers out in the next week? Let's have one more transfer. I think deep down, I think the Broadhead deal gets done. Again, I've updated you guys as much as I can with what I know, which is there's been a deal agreed that's not been signed off. If it happens, that deal is in place. It's $7.5 million, as we exclusively reported last week. If that's one that happens and they sign it off, then good luck to him. But it's not been finalised as such. He's an Ipswich player and he's on the bench today. Hopefully some good minutes for him. We're going to end it there, guys, because kickoff's coming up soon. We've done more than half an hour. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. It was to no one. It was a lovely ball there, just on the pitch from Nathan Broadhead. You can do that, can't you? Come follow with us. My live blog's up and running. I'll be updating throughout the match. Come and subscribe. £6, 6 months, £29 for the year. Links all over our social medias. Thank you very much, guys. We're not done here in Auxerre. Kickoff coming up in 14, as it stands, 14 minutes. Thank you for following. We will see you soon.